Today on the podcast, we've got another Keep the Change changer, where we're talking to people who have been listening to the content and understanding what they've changed in their life since listening. So Scott Innes, good to see you, mate. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you are, we're picking up an accent there from Canada.
From Canada, yeah. Been here 6 years now.
How's my Canadian accent?
It's okay.
It's okay. That shit is what you mean. Okay, good.
It's all right.
You've been here 6 years. What brought you to New Zealand?
So originally my dad's a Kiwi, so it was easy citizenship, but so much opportunity here. Like it's awesome. So we my wife and I have been together since we were 17. We kind of just, it's kind of like everyone leaving to Australia. It's kind of like, okay, well, we need to go. Time to try something new. And this was our easy path. And we weren't sure if it was going to be a 3-month ticket or 30 years. And so we just kind of went for it. One-way ticket. And 6 years later, we're here.
What did you notice about New Zealand compared to Canada? What were the big noticeable differences when you first sort of got here?
Opportunity, man. Like it's crazy. Everything's done in Canada. Like we're come from a small town, 120,000 people, and everything's done.
Yeah.
It's just, you go, I'm living in Ohopi and Whakatane now, and it's just opportunities galore. Like there's 2 people doing what I'm doing, one and one other person,
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome.
Wow. That's great. That'd be crazy for Kiwi people to hear, I think, eh?
Yeah. I think it's crazy people are moving to Australia. There's just so much opportunity here.
Yeah.
And you get ocean view, and it's just a beautiful country.
Yeah. And your wife loves it as well?
Yeah. We constantly check in, making sure, hey, do we want to stay here? Do we want to move back home? And every time someone visits, it's like, we're good here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's working out well.
And you had anyone come and see you?
Yeah. So my mom was here in December. My in-laws just flew in yesterday, so they're here for a month.
Yeah. What do they think of it when they get here?
They're excited for us. They're a little bit sad because we took 2 grandchildren away from them, and they only get to see them once a year. But they understand what we're doing. He's from the Philippines, so he's done it from the Philippines to Canada.
Gotcha.
So he kind of understands why. But they're quite happy for us, supportive, and
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids you've had them whilst you're here, right?
2 Kiwi boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But tell us, how long ago did you come across Keep the Change?
It's about 2021. Yeah. Coming up 4 years now.
Yeah. And what did you first see? Can you remember?
So back then I was trying to enter the financial services industry. I was trying to get an understanding on it. I was just consuming content like crazy. And I think you were one of the only ones out there actually not trying to sell something.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say that, but or providing actual like real life value, right? Rather than just information, you're actually going a little bit deeper than that as to the why and question everything. And you also provide both sides of the coin. So it's not property or not property. Although I know where you're landing on that, but it's both, right?
Yeah.
And it's up to the kind of the listener to make their own decision, which, you obviously put your input in there, but you leave it open to the listener, which is awesome.
Well, I like to try to, mate, but it's not how everybody sees it.
You get ripped apart online sometimes.
Yeah, I certainly do. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
All right. So what were you doing when you found the content?
I was studying. So I was doing my financial services certificate at the time.
And working as well?
Yeah. So I was at Work and Income as a case manager. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
If I made it 3 years, I would have gone insane.
Yeah.
So 2.5 years was the good one. You learn. I thought I took the job. So when we landed in New Zealand, that was the first job I got. Case manager at Work and Income. I thought, let's learn about Kiwis. We don't have welfare in Canada. Like
really,
you got unemployment benefit, or for 6 months. So you get 80% of your income for 6 months, and then it's see you later. You're on your own.
What do people do?
They're homeless.
Yeah.
Right. Like they'll figure it out. That you have to. You don't really have a choice. So we, a lot of people on the street, unfortunately, which I think New Zealand hides a little bit, and we put them in hotels, or we kind of keep them out of the way. But there is nothing. Like if you don't have a job, you get 6 months, and that's only if you're laid off. If you choose to work, or choose to leave, there's nothing.
Yeah. And
that was actually, when you originally asked what was a big culture shock, that was a huge one. Like, holy smokes, I'm going to get food on the table if I don't have a job? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like I think Kiwi should be very proud that we offer that, or that it's offered. So. I know that sounds really funny because I've said that to a few people. I'm like, what are you talking about? But my mom raised 4 of us on her own. There's no sole parent benefit. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Like get to work.
So how did mum feed all of you?
She got a loan from her mom,
which
she's just now paying off in her 60s.
Wow.
Right? And so she'll be mortgage free soon. But there's nothing.
You just have to make it work.
You have to make it work. Get to work. she got some income from the separation, but yeah, not enough to support 4.
Yeah.
So I think that's just so cool. New Zealand has that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's some data out recently around the number of people on some form of benefit, and there are a number of benefits when I started digging into it to have a look at the different types, and you'd know more about it than I, having worked at WINS for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the video that I posted nearly had 167,000
In a couple of days.
Yeah. People love talking about it in New Zealand.
Yeah. So I know people probably rip me apart for that, but I think it's really cool that it's offered and everyone can put food on the table. Everyone can have shelter.
I guess the downside maybe for, you've kind of in Canada, you probably got that you have to figure it out mentality, right? Whereas probably there's capable Kiwi people who could figure some things out, but with a number of safety nets, that's normally the argument, is then people don't have to.
And how do you solve generational wealth too? Or welfare, sorry. That's near impossible. I have no idea how to, and so there's downsides of it too. It's not all positive, but the fact that it's available.
What were you seeing as a case manager for Working Income New Zealand? Like any common themes? You probably had to learn a lot about the different types of benefits to start with.
Yeah. So I really don't want to get political.
Yeah.
But I was under a Labour government, and it was a little easier to help, I guess, or get what you wanted to do help. The biggest problem is kind of the generational stuff. Like if someone was genuinely out of work, they're not going to be out of work for very long. Be on the benefit, 2 months, back to work, awesome. That's not really something we dealt with very often. It was a parent would come in with 2 twins and celebrate that it's, they turned 18, time to get their benefit money. Like that was sad, man. Yeah. That was the saddest moment. That was, I'll take from that experience, was that it's like, man, these kids are already doomed. Yeah. How do you break that cycle? Right.
Really tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah. So it's sort of ingrained that's how it works. And this is and
you could see the kids weren't super excited, but mom was.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get to charge them board and get a little bit extra money. And it's like, it's just.
Yeah, I see.
It's no one's fault. It's not mom's fault either.
It's just the system, the way it works.
It's the system,
almost by design.
And so that's the bad part about having benefit for everybody, is that you get a little bit of that.
Okay.
But yeah, that you break one of that. If you can break that cycle in one family, like a month, a year, that's a great success, because it is hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see any, I suppose you weren't there for that long, but did you see any of that happening?
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
But you never really know, right? Because they come to you, right? You don't get to go and see their household. You don't get to see the aftermaths, right? So you have a feeling you've done it. Yeah. And even then, like, you can get them a job. It's kind of on them after that.
Yeah.
Right? You don't get to follow up because they're off the benefit, right?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably something for a lot of Kiwi people who, and even those who listen to this, because they're probably more hungry and aspirational and looking for that, okay, how am I going to make things better? Hard for a lot of us to relate to, because we're just not getting enough visibility of what's really going on in that space. So.
Yeah, it's interesting, because the fact that support was there actually probably was the last piece of the puzzle for me to go on my journey. Because I'm like, okay, we're going to structure our budget to live off the benefit if we need to. We didn't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I can go take this risk because I've got this security. So I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, it's a different way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our rent was affordable. Our budget was all good. We didn't have kids at the time. Well, we were pregnant, but I kind of knew what we could get, because So we structured our whole everything, all this risk around that.
Yeah, nice. So you knew your downside risk, that if you couldn't, we'll get into what the next chapter was, but if you couldn't make it work, you had a fallback.
I had a fallback. Yeah. We put food on the table. Yeah. At the end of the day, you put food on the table.
Yeah.
Which survive another day.
Wouldn't be happening in Canada.
Nah. I mean, we had parents. We had family and all that, but they wouldn't let us do that. But
Nice. So what was the next part of the chapter for you then?
So we got pregnant. My wife got pregnant. We kind of had both government jobs. She doesn't like talking to me talking about what she does, but government jobs. Right. And we just kind of realized we didn't want our kids in daycare for 45 hours. Hey, great if you do it as a parent. I'm not going to judge. It's not something we wanted to do. So we thought 25 hours max. Okay, if we want to accomplish that and have a decent income, someone's got to work in the evenings. So I mean, it doesn't matter if we're going to work at the petrol station, grocery store. Like, our goal was to have our kid be there for drop off, be there for pickup, be there for swimming, all that stuff. That if we got that sorted, the income will come later. And so we ended up going through the financial services industry because you can work evenings, you can work mornings. I'm taking calls at 6 o'clock in the morning now, 8 o'clock at night, but I've got my afternoons free with the kids, right? So it's pretty cool. But that's where we headed. And man, that first year was brutal. Yeah. It was brutal. I think we made $35K.
Yeah.
As a family.
Wow. In income?
In income, yeah. So we before that, in our government jobs before kids, we were able to save 40 grand. Right. And so that also, we knew, okay, we're probably going to live off that plus this income. And if it doesn't work after a year, we got to figure it out. So, but without that, we'll call it an emergency fund, but it was kind of a planned savings fund. Yeah. There's no way we'd be able to pull this off. So, a lot of that financial, like you take away your afterpay and your debt and all that, and you simplify things down, means you can take risks over there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you build up your savings so you can take risks over there.
One of my goals is to help 100,000 Kiwis improve their financial literacy and in turn help create a better New Zealand. Generate has a very similar goal to educate and empower Kiwis to make smart KiwiSaver decisions so more of us can be better off at retirement. That's why I'm stoked to have them on board as sponsors. Together, we can reach more people and make this goal a reality. If you've never got KiwiSaver advice before, book a no obligation chat with a Generate advisor at generatekiwisaver.co.nz/change. They'll even put you in the draw to win $5K worth of vouchers just for having a chat, whether or not you decide to sign up. T's and C's on that webpage. A copy of the product disclosure statement is available at generatekiwisaver.co.nz. The issuer of the scheme is Generate Investment Management Limited, and of course, past performance does not guarantee future returns.
A lot of people don't think about that stuff, I don't think, or can't. Yeah, they're not ready to take risks, so then they stick to the buy now, pay later and stuff like that because they're not thinking about the other opportunities.
Which is ironic because that's a risk.
Yeah.
Doing nothing, going 9 to 5 and paycheck to paycheck is definitely a risk. You're not protecting against retirement, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have enough on just KiwiSaver. Maybe.
Yeah.
Right? So that is a risk too.
So you do a year and you have a child in that time as well.
Yeah.
And when you say financial services, so the whole industry, we're talking, was there anything specific you focused on?
So I did insurance. Ironically, I thought mortgages were boring, which probably a little bit more exciting than insurance. But I did insurance in KiwiSaver. I went to the company, awesome training, phenomenal training. But it just, after a year, I kind of figured out it wasn't really going to work.
So were you paid from that company via like a commission split?
Yeah, so it's fully commission. So at the time, they offered an income and a tiny bonus or fully commission. And to be honest, he gave me the confidence to go fully commission. In hindsight, wrong choice. But that experience of being commission only and living in that probably gave me the confidence to go into the next one.
Yeah.
Right. And so now someone approached me. They kind of headhunted me and said, "Oh, look, we're looking for an insurance person. Like, can you come across?" There's only 2 of us in the town. So I think they got a good deal out of it, but that's all right. Yeah. Commission only because they don't have. They're 2 years new, I think, so they don't have the big assets to support a salary yet. So it's working out well.
Nice. So you're working with them, and you're basically out there hunting out people to insure, to de-risk them, and then you get paid a commission.
Yeah.
And so if you don't work, you don't put the work in, you don't
get paid.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
That drive you? That's scary for a lot of people, right? But do you think the ability to do that, does it kind of feed in from understanding maybe wealth you're supporting New Zealand, plus then having the nest egg to build the runway?
A little bit. Nest egg's gone. That's gone the first year. But it's we got down to $1,000 last year at some point. We got a big tax bill coming up, as you'd know.
Yeah.
We got hit with the prov tax this year. Prov tax plus
terminal tax.
That'll be next year's problem.
Okay.
But we'll be okay. But it's terrifying. But it's also, I think it's terrifying working 9 to 5. I could not go back. Not a chance.
Yeah.
Like you're in complete control because you have no limit.
Yeah.
Like you can work as much as you want or as little as you want. You could say no to people. No, you're actually not my type of client. I'm good.
Nice.
That was you did a pod on that, by the way, so that was a really good one.
Yeah.
And I needed it at the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were definitely finding the nuggets when you needed by the sounds. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
In you go.
It's just, you put a lot of positive stuff out there, and positive stuff comes back, right?
Yeah.
I think you live by that quite a bit, and it's completely true. I don't want to quite call it karma, but it's kind of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you just end up attracting the energy that you're putting out.
Yeah.
And then you start to spot the negative stuff and then make more of a conscious effort to stay away from it as well. And then you talk to those people every now and then, and they're wondering why their life is hard. And you kind of think, oh, you just got some baseline work to change, and, you know, it might start getting a bit easier. I know it's easier to say that when you're through that stage, but when you're living there, it's tough.
It's like the Trump the tariff thing with Canada and the US. Like, everyone's asking me, oh, what's it like? I live in New Zealand. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't pay attention to that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of Canadians in New Zealand would. Or you know, the COVID lockdown announcements at 1 p.m. or whenever it was, you know. At the time, I was tuning into it every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
And then I just realized this isn't serving me well. Like, this is just a distraction. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. Let's just move that out. Yep. Yeah. Switch it off.
How are you enjoying the freedom of being able to sort of work when you want?
I'm still, like, the customers and clients are still my boss, right?
Yeah.
I know that's a weird way to think about it. Like, I still
know what you mean.
like, I'm not quite free yet, but I mean, yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah.
But then also you can't turn it off. Like, I sleep very well, but, you know, I've got midnight nights and then up at 6 a.m. for an appointment, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I put my kids to bed at 8, then it's admin from 9 to 12, and then it's appointment, and then but it's not work because you love it.
I think you said in an email that one of the things is that you're one of the only dads that can take the kids to swimming lessons. So. Yeah.
Swimming and athletics. We run athletics too.
Nice.
Locally. So
you got two boys?
Two boys, 1 and 3.
Yeah.
But I would never change any. You don't, you know, when my wife was pregnant, you go do research and you talk to dads, and I said, what's one piece of advice you'd give? Every single one. I wish I worked less. Right? You ask people in retirement villages, what do you regret? Oh, I wish I spent more time with the kids, you know? And so I'm taking that really to heart.
Yeah.
And trying to work as much as still need an income, because that's the society we decided to live in.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you can design everything around the kids and still have an income. It's just harder. It's really harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you kind of break the back of it, and it sounds like you've started to snowball some of your momentum as well.
Yeah.
You can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
It's like 2 years away. It's just right there.
Yeah, nice. But also the moments when you're at the swimming lessons and you know that you're there must be reward in itself too.
Well, it's even like at athletics. You're not checking your phone all the time, right? Like, it's actually, the phone stays in the car because this is kids' time. And it's because a lot of dads will just be like, you know, this the whole time, or moms too. It's not just dads, but it's present.
Yeah.
And take that really to heart. And it's been awesome.
And so as part of your journey as well, I believe you then end up getting involved with the EAP system in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Do you want to just explain what that is? Because I think there's a lot of people who, I posted something about it recently, and there was actually a bit of negativity in the comments, and then about how it's not that good, but then a couple of people messaged me like, oh, I had a really good experience with it. So maybe from the top, sort of, what is the EAP system? How does it work?
So the Employee Assistance Provider Program is basically your employer saying, hey, we care about your health and well-being, and you'll have some employers that promote this better than others, but at the core, they offer it. And it's mostly for counseling and that kind of stuff. But within that can fall financial counseling and consulting. So, hey, I'm having a problem spending money. I'm spending, pie in a V every morning, or hey, I'm feeling really anxious about retirement. I don't feel prepared. And so we kind of address those problems without product. And so we're completely product free. And we just kind of say, like, okay, this is what you need help with. This is what you need to work on. This is kind of where you're going. Some people, to be honest, New Zealand Super is enough. And that's awesome. Good for them. They live frugally. They live happily. That's kind of the dream, actually.
Yeah. So I'd imagine the mortgage free and then getting the pension. Yeah,
in this case. But and so it's trying to tailor, hey, what's actually the problem? The problem might be, hey, my partner doesn't talk to me about money. Like, it's nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
Right? Money's quite often the symptom, or finance is quite often the symptom, but it's getting down to the problem and be like, okay, I think they said there's a stat out there, something like employees spend like 13 hours a week thinking about money
Wow.
at work. I don't quote me on that quote, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I remember reading about that some time ago. Yeah.
And so we're trying to solve that so that they can be more focused at work, I suppose, or give more.
Yeah.
But also, good employers want to see their employees be successful too, right? So if they're able to get investment properties or invest or be mortgage free, whatever their goal is, then they're going to have happier employees and more efficient and better for the company.
How does an employee know if their employer offers EAP support?
Hopefully HR is doing a good job, but speak to HR.
Okay.
Google it. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I've just Googled companies, be like, does so-and-so offer EAP? And it'll be in their ad.
Yeah.
If you look up their advertisement, it'll be, EAP services. Oh, okay.
And I think Xero offer it on behalf of all subscribers and then maybe even their staff. And I think, they'd have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on their database. So people probably don't even know they've got access to it.
2 sessions from Xero clients, sorry.
Yeah.
And the staff. They are reviewing that March 31st. So if this goes out and they're done, sorry.
So you can get 2, is that what you're saying?
2, through Xero.
Without having to pay?
Correct.
Yeah, Xero basically paying for it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the common things that you're hearing through EAP from either your own convos or...
It's very topical.
Yeah.
So last year was redundancy. Dealt with a lot of redundancy because that was going on a lot. Then it's the retirement planning a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. That new report came out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were booking in, hey, what's my retirement look like? Then you get the one-off things like I'm going through divorce. I don't know how to do this financially, which is a little overwhelming. I've had someone where their partner passed away and they're like, I didn't deal with the finances, help.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit beyond a video call, but we were able to get some help locally for them. It's budgeting would be a common one. I don't know how to budget. That kind of stuff. How do I get my first home? How do I buy investment property? How do I invest? Really thinks ChatGPT could probably help with a lot, but that's all right.
I think people want to hear it from somebody else as well, though, right? I actually think that's what's going to happen more as information becomes more freely available. People want to know from someone specific that's done it or someone trusted, okay, how do I do this? I often think about this because I see, I'll put up so many stories as you'll see or images where someone's doing really well in the Keep the Change community. And I know that straight away the comment's going to be like, how have they done that? The other day it was the surveys. And my brain goes to, okay, I'd Google it, I'd ChatGPT it, I'd start looking into it and using that level of initiative. But then somebody else's level of initiative, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, would be, well, I'm just going to ask who, it doesn't say the exact survey company, so who was it?
Yeah.
But I think you've then got to take that information and go, okay, now what am I going to do with it? But I do think because there's so much content out there, people think that by asking the question, that is sort of taking action.
Yeah.
But when you then book a call with somebody like yourself, or even in my space, businesses will pay me. Once they pay and show up, they're like, right, it's go time.
Yeah. It's a little bit frustrating because sometimes people think, oh, it's a free service. They don't value it very much.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that a couple of times, being like, oh, I charge $20. The unplugged one, I think you did $20 or something.
Just to weed out because you just get people sign up and then be like, oh, no, I can't make it. Well, who cares? I didn't like.
So there's a little bit of that, but I don't let people get off the call without some action points. Whether I can't follow up with them, but they'll get 3 action points.
Nice.
Go talk to a mortgage broker. Go talk to a second one. Pick one between them or whatever it is.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
The action always wins.
Action always wins,
But
even if it's wrong.
So you're not allowed to check back in with them, or it's just not really part of the process?
I'll just flick them an email, but I'm not paid to do it. To be blunt. So they can book a second meeting to follow up if they want to. But and there's the odd person where hey, look, I'm actually kind of a little bit worried. Maybe I'll give them a ring.
Yeah. What are some of those retirement conversations like when people probably maybe thinking about it too late, or they're starting to take it seriously and then thinking, oh wow, this is starting to look a bit scarier than I realized?
The frustrating part with the retirement, it's always people with millions of dollars and 3 investment properties.
Oh wow.
Every time. And I'm just like, these are not the people that need my help.
Yeah.
I wish more people would ring out and say hey, I'm 35, I haven't even bought a house yet. Help. What does this look like? You don't have to be anywhere specific. Now, there's been a couple where they're going to use their Kiwi Saver to pay off, to the dollar, their mortgage. So they've got 0 Kiwi Saver, but the mortgage is paid off.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to be on New Zealand Super. And it's like, oh boy, that's, you
Yeah.
okay with that? Like, you got 6 months left to work. Like maybe practice living on super. Here's the amount.
That's a good idea.
Practice it for a month. And then you'll know how long you have to work because you kind of left it too late. And
Yeah.
I don't mind telling people that, 'cause,
How does that go down?
is what it is. I'm there to help, right? I'm not
Yeah.
there to be their friend sometimes. And sometimes they need the blunt little push.
Yeah. All right, let's go back a step to get
Yeah.
into the EAP space now that we sort of understand more about it. And I think, a final push on that too, if you are struggling with something or look, why not take advantage of it anyway if your employer offers the EAP program, whether it's counseling or financial counseling or financial help? Why not? A couple of times a year, your employer is paying someone to do it for you. Make use of it.
It's I like to think that like people's money problems are about 20% numbers and 80% up here, if not higher.
Yeah.
And so counseling, if they don't offer financial, go talk to a counselor about your finances. Like it's quite often related. And maybe I might do some work in that in the future, but it's
Nice.
completely correlated.
It's funny because I've been getting louder recently about, go see a counselor. It's probably there's been themes of it through the content for years, but I guess I think the access now for some form of counseling help, or once you understand more about the space, that it is so much about psychology and your brain and understanding how you think. It's like, okay, you probably need to go and explore that space. And some people are enjoying it and others are, I think, are just like, what the hell? Like,
It's your number one piece of advice you've had over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
It's just nobody takes it seriously. It's by far the most important thing you could do. The reason you're how do I explain this? A lot of the reasons why you're stuck is up here. It's not because you can't take your income and subtract your expenses. That's not why. It's because you're dealing with stress by doing this. You're not communicating with your partner. You're not happy at your job. It's all these underlying issues that are causing, like, financial issues is usually the symptom of a bigger problem.
behaviors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's your best advice you've given over the last 5 years. So ignore the haters.
Hopefully more people go and take initiative and speak to someone. Okay, so to get into that EAP space, how did you get into there? Because if we go back a bit, you've gone from, you moved to New Zealand, you're working for Work and Income New Zealand, you then want to control your income and your time, you get into the financial services space, and then you go down that path, and then these doors sound like they keep opening up for you.
It's been your content, man.
Yeah. One
post on social media, I just said, hey, anyone want to get together and talk finances? A little longer than that. Meet up for a beer.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat, right? It just blew up, just a local Facebook page, and we're in Whakatane at the time. It's only 30,000 people live there, and the owner of the EAP of Money Maverick reached out and said, "Oh, actually, I've got this business. Like, I could use a coach. I really like the way you think. Can you help?"
Nice.
I've made one public post on social media in 10 years, and it got me a company.
Wow.
Right. And
When you say got you a company, what do you mean?
eventually.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I joined
but-
in as a coach, as a consultant, just worked, whenever she was overwhelmed. She decided to step away from the company. She bought another company and said, "Oh, I'm just going to fold the company." I said, whoa, hold on here. I can see something big. Can I buy this off you? So
you buy MoneyMaverick.nz. It's .nz, right?
Yeah. I bought that. I bought it on vendor finance, so I don't have any money. So I give her $300 a week till it's paid off.
Nice. People wouldn't even understand what vendor finance is.
I hadn't heard of it. You just go, man. To just say yes to everything. No, maybe not everything.
Yeah. So you buy the business from the business owner and they provide the finance, the loan. So you pay them back based on the agreed price. That's loosely
basically, yeah. And you can negotiate interest. You can negotiate non-interest. She still works in the company, so she still sees a few clients every once in a while.
Nice. I think it's an area that people will want to learn more about in New Zealand because we've got an aging business owner population, and a lot of them, if people are still trying to pay down their properties because they've become more expensive and debt to income ratios have changed so much over time, baby boomers are probably going to get a shock when millennials, as they get older and go, I might buy that business, they go, oh, what? I can't. No, 500 grand. Like, I don't know what. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of vendor finance that happens in the next 3 decades.
It's it's actually a pretty good outcome to the seller from what I understand, because they can fund their retirement. Right?
Yeah, they've got a constant stream.
Got a nice income stream, and it might be a 2-year succession plan where the business owner stays in for a couple of years while they kind of transition over. And I think there's quite a few Australian people looking at New Zealand companies being like, this is a great opportunity. So maybe us Kiwis could probably do the same thing. This is my second, so I own the 2 businesses now. I'm looking for a third.
Wow.
Just got to be the right one. I'm not going to just put myself in something I don't know, but keeping my ears open.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You never know. I have $5,000 in the bank. Won't be able to buy it, but I'll figure out a way.
Yeah. Oh, I love the attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that business runs separately to your business, right? But now you've got to then grow the brand of that, and you've got to do the work. And
so that was September 2023 when I made that post. And then over the next December, 8 months, as we kind of transitioned to me owning it, I started to do social media posts, which is something I have dreaded for years. Even that one post I made, I was hovering over it for 10 minutes. I just don't want to get into it. Yeah. Like I don't have the time to I don't have the value, I guess. Not the value, the energy. I don't know how to explain it. Social media is exhausting.
Yeah. But I was thinking about this morning, and
I don't know how to explain it. But then I've posted now every day in January. I thought I'm going to do it. Right. Consistency, something you taught me. Action, right? I'm just going to do it. I know I need to do it. I know this is how it's going to grow. And I'm just going to take 31 days and then back off for a week, learn about it. And then, because what I've come to realize now is all the content with my face does about 10 times more. And so now I've got to back up and be like, I'm going to have to record every day. Which is probably the realization you came to 4 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a good tip that I've been thinking about. So, because, with ChatGPT now, everyone's like, content's can be completely changed.
Yeah.
If you take a video that you make, right, and now you can transcribe that video through to your computer.
Yeah.
And that gives you the baseline of what you were talking about. Then you can give that to ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm a financial services provider, or whatever it is. I need to turn this video text into a written post or written email.
Right.
And then you've got that bit.
Yeah.
So I think we've gone back to where recording a video and just talking organically and creating content now actually gives us the rest of
the content.
Yeah.
And that's what I've realized is now I probably have to record it an hour at some point during the week. That goes up on YouTube, and then you can get all your content for the week.
Yeah.
And it should be efficient. I just gotta.
But you do have to enjoy it too, though, because I think if you don't, then it does get hard. And
I surprisingly enjoyed it. I actually was surprised how much I did enjoy it.
Oh, that's good.
People are a lot more friendlier than I thought online.
Yeah.
I think once you get to this kind of scale you're at, then it gets a little bit two ways. But
you start to attract all sorts.
They're also not your clients, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're always going to get a bit of it. And something someone taught me ages ago was basically like good content for the algorithm should sort of sit in the middle. And I think we saw this where the clip about the number of people want to benefit in New Zealand, you've got 50% of people want to have their say about how that's not good, and the other 50% want to have their opinion about what they think about it. So then it goes nuts. But if you're hard one way and everybody agrees with it, then it's not really normally good content for a platform.
Gary Vee talks about that being purple instead of red or blue.
Okay. Yeah, in the middle there.
In the middle.
Yeah. But it's and I was even reflecting on the Money Mail that I recorded yesterday. I can't remember if it's 130 or 170. I think it's 130,000. But on YouTube, the Keep the Change YouTube account got in front of 130,000 unique people over the last 90 days.
Well done, because that's new.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but it looks new. However, I started putting out content. That channel's probably 5 years old.
Is it really?
But I haven't really taken it seriously, proper seriously, until, going, right, record this in person, then that's going to give some longer form content, clip it down, and then, I will start to just record some longer form stuff that I can post up there as well. And then bang, all of a sudden you reach that many people. But, years ago, and then this week is 250 weeks consecutively of Money Mail.
I saw your post put up yesterday or today or whenever that was.
Yeah. So staying consistent, it just had me thinking yesterday about how, and then I saw there's a bloke and he live streams the planes landing at Wellington. And I've actually seen him on my YouTube. And I was telling my partner about it, and she was like, wow, like, does he do that all the time? I'm like, I don't actually know. But then I saw the story about him doing it, and he's been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it just got me thinking about, I wonder what the barrier is to consistency, where then all of a sudden, like, people start noticing, and it sort of becomes more apparent that something's happening. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like it's probably around that 2 year mark.
As long as you're learning.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's what that 2 years is about, is learning, not
Yes.
just posting.
Yeah.
You got to actually, okay, that worked, that didn't work. Okay, that's what I don't want to do. That's what I do want to do. Yeah. It's cool. I'm excited to get on the social media stuff, because it's been probably 10 years I've been needing to do it.
Yeah.
And I've only have positive outcome from it. I've come to the point, I'm a month into it. Okay. Every single person should be posting just their brand, their opinion about their job on LinkedIn once a week. Maybe not opinion, but a thought about the industry. I had a client reach out just because of something they saw on LinkedIn.
Wow.
I don't even post there. I post twice.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Nice.
And so
now you can take those videos and transcribe them down, and you've probably got some LinkedIn posts.
Yeah, and it's opportunity, right? I don't know.
I think it was weird because maybe about 5 years ago, there was quite a bit of chat around like how personal branding is the next big thing. And I feel like we're back there again. People are like, oh, wow. But I do think because of what AI is doing, that having a personal brand, like, it's completely changed my life. And I've really leaned into it because I could see what was coming and what was happening. And now the opportunities that I have already ticked this year is purely because I stayed consistent with personal branding over the last couple of years.
Consistent.
It's very hard to say that or teach someone that. And also the Kiwi psyche of, like, even I was at a wedding on the weekend, and I know they're just joking, but they're like, I was on my phone, they're like, what are you doing, another LinkedIn post?
Were you?
Yeah, well, I said, not yet, but then I just made a running gag for the rest of the weekend of like, that's what I was off to do.
Yeah.
But you have to deal with like a little bit of that stuff, and those are my mates, so they mean no harm, but there will be people that will think a certain way about you, but you look at the life that you have and that you want, and then you look at an unhappy person and you think, well, which one do you want to be?
It's kind of an advantage of being a foreigner too, because I don't have my high school friends peer pressuring and watching. They don't know what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
I don't even think they knew what I do for work.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is a little bit of an advantage, because I genuinely don't care, because I don't know anybody.
Nice.
So that's probably giving me the confidence to post too, because no one's going to see this that I grew up with or care. I mean, not that I should care, but we're human.
Yeah, we all do in some way.
Yeah.
Hey, so what does Money Maverick actually do? Like, when, is there sort of more to it for those that don't know? And like, some of might have even seen the brand previously.
It's more financial education, financial coaching, consulting, information. It's really just a catch-all to help guide people where to go. So I don't sit down and do like a financial plan or put any product in place. I refuse to do product. But I'll say, hey, actually, you're in a good position to buy a first house. You need to go talk to a mortgage broker.
Got you.
Or, hey, you just had a kid. You really need to talk to insurance. Like, you need to get some insurance. Your whole income's on one person. You got this massive mortgage over here. Like, you need something, at least consider it.
Okay.
And so go talk to someone, right? And not very often the conversations are product, but I'll defer that away if that's the case. And there's a few people I'll recommend or suggest if they need it. But I always suggest find someone local. You're going to want someone local if it goes kind of under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
I see. So you're basically doing the plan piece, or here's what you think the solutions are.
Multiple, and then you pick it. Right.
Yeah.
Here a lot of people say, oh, I want to buy an investment property. I'll talk to them about investing. A lot of people, I've had people come to me investing. Okay, what about an investment property? Right. And so I'll kind of just play the opposite and say those are the options and kind of generally what it looks like.
Yeah.
As the outcomes. Or here are the risks, as someone wanting to buy, they had enough money to buy 2 properties as an investment. I said, well, you're invested on one street, right? Not property, one very specific street.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if there's a flood next street over and you can't get insurance over here, I don't know the property, right? You can't sell it. Or you have to sell it to someone with cash, which means you got to sell it cheaper, right? So it's just a risk. Like, if you could have those in 2 different towns, or North Island, South Island, I don't know, a couple streets over even, at least you're a little bit more diversified in the property.
You're just designed to get them thinking.
Just get them thinking, yeah. And taking action. And most of the time they'll ask all the questions and they'll say, what do you think? And they'll give me their answer. And that's usually the right answer.
Nice.
They just need someone to kind of run it. Hey, am I missing anything? Am I completely off base? Is there anything that we could be doing better?
And then the EAP piece slots in as well under Money Maverick.
Yeah. So I run it under Money Maverick.
Yeah.
And I don't know where I'm heading with it. For now, it's EAP. I do offer non-EAP for a fee, but I've only started that up a couple weeks ago, so no one's booked in there.
Okay.
But I figured if I was going to be on social media, I may as well capture some people that don't have EAP.
Yeah.
And we're just going to trial and error this year,
Good
see where it goes.
Yeah. Are you enjoying the process of building all of this?
It's addicting, man. It is absolutely addicting.
Yeah.
It is so cool. So my wife's joined as a mortgage broker too. So
Awesome.
like we've tripled into this.
Yeah.
So we've gotten the insurance, Kiwi Saver. She's doing more. She just saw her first client yesterday. So
wow.
just brand new.
Yeah.
And so we're all in as a family.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
And you get the two boys in eventually too?
I think they're on their own journey.
Yeah. Nice one.
I don't want to drag them into something.
Oh,
But they'll be well educated on their finances though.
Yeah. They're going to hear a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to take us through maybe a few key lessons that you have had since listening to the podcast or following along with the content? Anything that springs to mind that we haven't spoken about?
Just action, man. Just try. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your content comes out with spelling mistakes. Who cares?
I'm the king of spelling mistakes.
You don't edit your this
Caption.
maybe a little bit, some O's and ahs kind of things. I don't know if you edit it, but a lot of your stuff on your stories aren't edited. Just post it. Just put yourselves in positions to be lucky. If that makes sense. I believe luck exists, but no individual person is lucky. You're just in a position. You did a really good pod about that. I think it was with Mikey, but it was put yourself in a position to receive the luck.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I think a good example is basically posting into that Facebook group, right? Where you then do a meetup. You've got to actually do that. And then good things happen and then the doors open. But I think people are waiting for the doors to open without realizing that. And I had to go through this lesson where it's like, you're still going to have to ask people. You're going to have to bust them down. And sometimes they're like, oh, yeah, sweet. Like, oh, what the hell? Like, why didn't they just do it themselves? They're not going to tell you.
You're just looking for one thing. You don't need 100 things to happen, right? You just need to put yourself in a position for one thing to change your life.
Yeah.
Just one. And everything could be your future partner. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get off my butt today. It's Friday night. I was going to watch Netflix, but I'm just going to go sit at the pub downstairs or across the street. Could be a future wife come walking in. Like, you just put yourself in opportunities to receive that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. I think people's actions start backing up their attention and intention with that. So, say it's the partner that they're looking for, then they've then got to start taking action to find that person, and then I think the world starts to reveal it to you.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. It's very hard to unpack or to articulate and have people believe that it's not just people talking shit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's how the world works, but anyway.
I think so too. You get what you put in or put out there, right?
Any other things, mate? Lessons? Action?
Oh, yeah. No, I think listen to the episodes, man. If you're just new, go back. Nice. Even the first ones. I'm fascinated from, if you go back, have you gone back and watched episode like 10?
No, I try not to.
Do it. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Like in a good way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the if you think that's been 5 years of work, that's all. It's only been 5 years and you went from that, no offense, from that to this, like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
If that's what you can accomplish in 5 years, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't that bad, but like, it was.
I know what you mean. I often get this now.
It was right in go back and listen to right when you were recording, like when you were catching up on the money mails and you were exhausted.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to one of those.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really, it's quite inspiring actually.
Nice.
So I go back and listen to the odd one just to be like, okay, he was there. He is here. That's cool. That only took 4 or 5 years.
What do you think you notice in me in that difference? Like, what sticks out for you?
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Whereas you're trying to figure that out before. And I think you know where you're going. You know what to do. Confidence isn't the right word, but it's direction. You know exactly where you're going. Whereas before you're just like, I know I need to do this. I don't quite know why. Don't know where this is going to lead. You know exactly where this is going now.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that is, but you do.
Yeah, I
And
think
it
it's
shows.
yeah, awesome. Thanks for that, mate.
Yeah.
I think it's conviction. So like in the early eps and stuff, I think I'm trying to convince myself, but also other people that this is what you need to know, and that this is a good thing to listen to, and that this is a good idea for me to do when no one's listening.
You need, no one's going to believe in you.
Yeah.
Like maybe your partner.
Yeah.
That's it. Parents might not even sometimes, depending on your circumstance. Like it's lonely, right? And yeah, that's the biggest transformation is you know where you're going.
Yeah, it's cool. Recently, a lot of people have been sort of pointing that out. And even people were emailing me at like episode 120 and they're like, oh, don't tell me what you're doing because I'm trying to, I want to see like what's going on. I'm going to keep listening. So yeah, it's quite funny. But no, it's been a fun journey and it's going to be another good 5 years of growth.
I got one contradiction for you. You think your income's your greatest asset. I would reckon it's your partner. That's my only change.
Yeah.
Number one asset by far.
Yeah.
Invest in that. Spend time nurturing that and keeping it. Divorce by far number one wealth killer. But yeah, your partner is your number one asset by far because they're the ones that got to watch the kids at 3 a.m. because they're not sleeping and you were up till midnight working, and they're the ones that have to pick up, make dinner or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Number one investment is your partner.
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I have a very good one, and I think she's due to get back on the pod at some stage.
Those are pretty funny when she was on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do another one. But no, I think, who did I say? Oh, I was actually speaking to someone who's doing very well in life at the moment, and very, very well-known New Zealander, and I said, I wonder if the difference in how they're performing at the moment could be because things are going pretty well in their personal life. And it was interesting because both of us like completely knew what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And I think a partner or like a really good friend or something like that can really unlock a different version of
business
oneself.
Partner, yeah.
Really, really important. I think New Zealanders are a little bit like they're taught to be skeptical of other people as well, but to go far, you have to like lean into relationships, to partnerships, and accept a bit of risk.
Almost everything I've had success-wise has just been because I've been open and I don't try to hide things. Like when I negotiated with my second insurance company that I'm with now, I just told them what I was earning at the time. Yeah. We'll beat that.
Nice.
Right? Cool, sweet. People want to, especially in New Zealand, way more than in Canada, people want to help other people, big time. But they want to know kind of that you want help too. They're not going to, if you're not asking for help, they're not going to reach out. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that because, I agree. Like, I think it's because we have this big tall poppy conversation, but then I have mates that are like, oh, do you reckon we kind of just overplay that to give ourselves an excuse not to have a crack or to push and whatnot? But once you start busting doors down, it's mind blowing the amount of people that actually want to help you succeed. But you have to be, I always say you've got to, there's got to be something in it for them, and you've got to actually be adding value. It's not just like, oh, hey, I want help, so you should give it to me.
No, that's
why
right,
won't you? Yeah.
Kindness, right? Like, I mean, even holding the door open for someone means that person, someone might see that and then help someone over here, and then it's just a big snowball of kindness. I know this sounds really corny, but man, kindness makes this all worth it. Yeah. If you can just walk around with kindness and, pick up some litter or, we're at the beach and I'll pick up some litter and just simple things. And it's not about the action, it's about the way you carry yourself. Yeah. It's funny because the other day I was a little bit late for a PT session. But unbeknown to me, my PT was behind me. And anyway, he's coming into the car park and I'm at the car park barrier trying to help this lady who's saying, oh, my ticket's not working. And she's like, I need to go and validate it. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, no, it is validated. We just need to, get in this machine. But she hadn't driven forward enough to then register the car to then be able to do it. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, even if she hasn't paid, I'm just going to pay this now and just get this lady on her way. And so she sorts it and off she goes. And she's so thankful that someone's actually willing to help, because you know what it's like when you're at the front of a queue and you're like, holy shit, what's going on behind me? And people are getting frustrated. But anyway, I then walk out of there and I'm like, right, power walking towards the gym because I know I'm going to be a little bit late and I hate being late.
And then this guy's like, excuse me, mate, where do you catch your ferries around here? I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, oh, you're walking in the wrong direction, pal. It's back that way. See by that building over there. Oh, thanks, mate. And then I'm like, I could just end it there, but I'm like, oh, you, like, where are you here from? Oh, somewhere in Australia. And I'm like, oh, well, welcome to New Zealand. Like, it's good to have you here. Enjoy your time. And then I go into the gym, and then I end up being like a few minutes later, whatever. And my PT was like, oh, are you, what did he say to me? He was like, you haven't got that much on that you're willing to, that you're stopping to help people get out of the car park these days, mate. Like, do you need another job?
Yeah.
But I think it's needed more in New Zealand, where people are willing to help other people and do those little moments of kindness.
For no reward.
No.
Right? Just because.
Maybe their smile. That's enough.
That's enough. Or you can sleep well at night because you help someone.
Yeah.
You know?
Or I always think like that guy goes back to Australia and was like, oh, Kiwis are really friendly.
That one interaction could be all it is.
Yeah.
And now you've encouraged someone to come to visit New Zealand, and there's more money in the country. Like you just don't know.
Yeah.
I'm always wondering like what actions I've done that, like what was the biggest thing, smallest thing I did with the biggest impact that I was completely unaware of.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good thing to think about.
Yeah.
Even every week, like and even I say to business owners, I'm like, what one action could you take today that you know has led you to work on your business? And it might be calling a lead or whatever, or sending an email or chasing an unpaid invoice, but what's that one action?
Yeah.
And I mean, you putting that post into that Facebook group has then changed
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just can't believe that. Just one action.
Yeah.
And she's not even on social media. It was just like, it was 10 minutes later, I probably wouldn't have caught her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, mate, a couple of questions to take us out of here. If you could give one piece of financial advice to your 18-year-old self, what would it be?
It's going to be a little corny, but I'd be exactly the same thing. Because all that lessons, because I got in quite a bit. I did what you did, that ticked up everything. I think we ended up in like 40 grand in debt in our mid-20s, and I wouldn't change any of that, because those lessons were needed for me to become who I am today. I wouldn't tell myself anything.
Yeah.
Because you need those lessons.
I like it.
I know it's a little corny, but I get the odd 18-year-old on Money Maverick, and I'm just like, you just need to live a little. Like, there's nothing. Even investing $5 a week or $100 a pay, like, you're gonna spend it before it actually gets to retirement. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Like, go learn something. You know, go make some mistakes.
Yeah.
I do wish I took on a little bit more risk, but then I've got 2 kids and a beautiful wife. Like, why on earth would I change anything? You know?
Yeah. Good on you, mate. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, what's one thing you'd love to see every Kiwi understand about money since you've come to our great country?
It's up here. It's
Nice.
all up here. It's not numbers. If you can add, multiply, subtract, divide, then it's all up here.
Love it.
And go fix that.
What's the best money hack you've got for people out there? We call these things hack because social media loves a
Yeah,
hack.
I know. It's good clickbait. Understand yourself. Like, if you're a spender, don't put yourself in a position to spend. If you're a saver, which is not always a good thing, put yourself in a position to spend, or understand that. Like, understand who you are and try not to fight it. If you're buying lunch every day at work, don't bring your debit card or your whatever card you work to work. Give it to your boss until the end of the day in case an emergency comes up. Like, understand who you are. I think that's a really good hack.
Yeah, that's really good. I was thinking this morning about how I put something on the story, and it'll probably be over the heads of most people, but there's the Make It Happen podcast had some data around how McDonald's changed their menu.
Yeah.
And they're taking the dollar signs off and a number of different little variables and increasing the size of the images and stuff. And basically their sales increased by 9% from their old menu. And I think that's the sort of thing that we're up against.
It's insane.
Yeah. And people don't get it. And then they're like, right, I'm going to get buy now, pay later because it helps me with budgeting. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah. It's a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar industry just in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I would think is marketing.
Yeah.
And you got to fight that every day. Get your emails cleaned. Get your social media cleaned. Don't carry a wallet everywhere. Like, just don't. Like, what emergency could possibly come up that you need your card everywhere? You know?
That'd be so hard for some people. And now it's on your phone as well.
Get it off. Get it off your watch. Oh, it drives me nuts. Get it off. Why are you making paying things easier?
Yeah.
Get it off. Like, put the chip in. Make it a little bit of a pain point to buy something. Everyone's different though, because some people are going to listen to this and be like, oh my God, it saves my time. Like, I don't care. Like, that's fine. That's great. Just my little hack.
But your hack is to know yourself, right?
Yeah.
And that's, even I was cracking up this morning, I was going to do some content on it, but I went to the pharmacy after I went to the gym, and I thought, this pharmacy has done so well out of me moving and changing apartments because I've spent so much cash there. Where I'm like,
Foursquare for me. We just moved to Easter. I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I'm like, fish oil. Oh, yeah, a bit of zinc. Apparently I need some zinc, and just like the amount of shit that I've brought in there. And I didn't used to live close to a pharmacy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's stuff that I think is like investing into myself or good for me. But yeah.
Might have to ban the pharmacy. No more pharmacy.
Yeah. Got to give it up for a bit.
Yeah.
But actually just even having that level of awareness of where you are spending and how your things change in different environments and stuff is powerful. Because then I think you're in more control of it, because then you're deciding whether it's happening or not.
That's right. Isn't there a song like No Choice is a Choice Too or something? There's a song that goes on about that. But making no choice is also a choice.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do you understand? But it's even I'm susceptible to buy stuff on TikTok. Shops can be huge, apparently, coming up, right? Like, why on earth does TikTok have your card number? Get it out of there if that's something you're going to be doing. Those Stanley mugs, I think you were giving them a hard time. It's pretty funny because in Canada, we've got ice hockey, right? And the big trophy is called the Stanley Cup. And so when the Stanley Cup was trending, was that last year? God, time flies.
Yeah.
Everyone in Canada is like, what is going on here? So they thought the Stanley Cup, oh my God, hockey's getting popular.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Classic.
Fun little story for you.
All right, mate. Well, thank you for coming into the studio and telling us a bit of your story. Looking forward to seeing where you get to. If people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that, mate?
Just Google Scott and this comes up.
Yeah.
Actually, the voice of Scooby-Doo comes up. Maybe Google Money Maverick.
Oh, is the voice of Scooby-Doo is Scott Innes? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I've been ungoogleable for a while.
Yeah. All right.
Need to put in Scott Innes NZ maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if they search for Money Maverick,
it'll come up.
They'll be able to find their way to you.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, mate. Well, well done on taking so much action and taking some of these lessons on board as well from Keep the Change, and looking forward to watching more of your progress play out in 2025.
Yeah. Thanks, Luke, and thanks for all your content over the years.
No worries.